Thank you for joining our Feeding Together call, Why Dr. Brown's, the Dr. Brown Zero Resistance Bottle System, how it works and why it matters. We know that traditional feeding products and practices for infants are inconsistent and can result in poor feeding outcomes. Dr. Brown's Medical's mission is to deliver valuable feeding solutions to help provide the best possible outcomes for all babies. We support Feeding Together. I'm sure we can all agree that the only way to move forward with providing the best possible outcomes for all babies is feeding together. How do we do that? It works with a supportive feeding culture, evidence-based feeding practices, evidence-based feeding products, and ongoing education and support, which yields improved feeding experiences, improved parent and staff satisfaction, and consistent messaging. So why are you using the tools in your unit at this time? And as you think about this, I want you to think specifically in terms of evidence. Is there evidence to support the products being used? Do your products promote safety of feeding? Can your parents purchase those products once they discharge from the hospital to home? Do your products provide a consistent feeding experience across all feedings? And can you explain with ease to your parents why you've chosen the product that you have to feed their premature or otherwise compromised infant? So now we want to move into why Dr. Brown's and discuss how the zero resistance bottle system works and why it matters. Keep in mind those items we just discussed: evidence, safety, consistency, parents, and transitioning from hospital to home. So I think it's important for all of us to ensure that we're on the same page in regard to zero resistance. All of our bottles with the venting system are vacuum-free or zero resistance. A few years ago, we made a conscious decision to let our name reflect the significant benefit, the science of the bottle, which is zero resistance. So what does that exactly mean? In order to discuss zero resistance, it's important to understand the science of typical or traditional bottle systems. Traditional bottle systems without an internal venting system have negative subatmospheric pressure. In a typical bottle during feeding without the internal venting system, there is subatmospheric pressure that occurs during liquid extraction as the baby feeds. This subatmospheric pressure or negative pressure is resistance. Here is a visual to represent the resistance which occurs with the use of a traditional bottle system. Negative pressure in traditional bottles causes resistance when the baby begins to suck. To extract the liquid, the baby must work against the resistance, and it feels like a tug of war, and it makes the baby inefficient and could lead to fatigue. So as mentioned at the beginning of our time today, we want to provide evidence-based feeding products. So where is the evidence when it comes to our bottle systems? There was a study by Lau that was completed back in 2000 that investigated the topic of negative pressure. They discovered that negative pressure can cause difficulty for an infant to generate a suck and or cause a decrease in suction amplitude, which causes longer feeding times, less feeding efficiency, both of which can result in fatigue and greater energy expenditure, which we all know can result in weight loss. In contrast, the Lau study found that if a bottle system eliminated the negative pressure, then the following was the result: improvements in the duration of oral feedings, improved feeding efficiency, improved percentage of successful feedings. And then there is evidence from a more recent article by Caitlin McGrattan, which revealed similar findings. In her article, Caitlin presents that the pressure in disposable value feeds requires the infant to exert greater force to overcome the pressure and express a bolus. She further states that it is plausible that the use of a vented bottle system may improve feeding performance in premature infants. So let's review those findings again. First, from Lau. The Lau study found that if a bottle system eliminated the negative pressure, then the following was the result: improvement in duration of oral feedings, improved efficiency, improved percentage of successful feedings. And then Caitlin McGrattan stated that it's plausible that the use of a vented bottle may improve feeding performance in premature infants. The Dr. Brown's zero resistance bottle system eliminates all subatmospheric or negative pressure. It is vacuum free. When negative pressure is eliminated, the baby does not have to work hard to extract or retrieve the liquid, and the feeding experience is similar to breastfeeding. So this is a visual that represents zero resistance. The internal venting system eliminates all negative pressure. The infant does not have to work as hard, and you can see there's no longer resistance. The tug of war is gone, and the baby can feed efficiently. Here we have a video about Dr. Brown's zero resistance bottle system. This is a great option to share with your colleagues and or parents to support the use of our zero resistance bottle system. You can also find this video on our website at drbrownsmedical.com. The zero resistance bottle system, along with Dr. Brown's quality control dependable nipple flow rates, together are the solution. We have 8 flow rate options and 3 consistent slow flow nipple options. All feeding professionals can therefore provide a custom fit with the appropriate flow given an infant's developmental skill level. And then parents can continue to support consistent, safe, and positive feeding experiences following discharge to home. All of our bottles and nipples are available for parents to purchase. You can find purchasing information for parents, caregivers in the US and Canada on our website, drbrownsmedical.com, or feel free to reach out to your account manager to learn more about where to find a specific product or products needed for the families you serve. So as we wrap up, I would like to ask the question once again: why are you using the feeding products in your unit at this time? And when you reflect on that, are the products you use evidence-based? Do they promote safety? Can your parents easily purchase those products as they discharge from the hospital to home? Do those products provide a consistent feeding experience? And can you easily explain to your parents why you've chosen the products that you have to feed their premature or otherwise compromised infant? If you are looking to make the switch to using products that are evidence-based, promote safety, provide a consistent feeding experience, and support feeding success long after discharge to home, then you may want to consider learning more about the switch to Dr. Brown's zero resistance bottle system. I want to thank you for joining this Feeding Together call, Why Dr. Brown's, the Dr. Brown's zero resistance bottle system, how it works, and why it matters.
Was what is the valve for? That blue valve? What exactly is that for?
The infant pace feeding valve, the blue valve that goes up in the nipple.
Nipple, yeah.
Yeah, that is our infant pace feeding valve. That is goes into our specialty feeding system that was designed more specifically for babies that have a cleft palate because it's bottle into a compression only system. It doesn't mean that other babies can't use it, because some people will, some professionals will often use it as a tool, as a means to an end. But it turns the bottle into a compression only system. So there's no suction needed.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just curious if anybody has any resistance to keeping all the bottle parts in their unit, like we talked about today, how they're so important. Any resistance to that? Anything we could help to support that? Or any other questions you have, feel free. Nothing else today? Well, what's great about our team is that we're always available. We have an account manager for every territory in the US and then in Canada as well. Feel free to reach out to us at medinfo@drbrownsmedical.com if you don't know your account manager. Otherwise, if you know your account manager, we are happy to share this kind of information with your team, group of leaders, nurses, therapists, whoever would be maybe needing this information, or it would be helpful just for everybody to kind of get on the same page with the use of Dr. Brown's products. We do that all the time. Zoom is amazing for that, along with Teams or whatever kind of virtual meeting you have in your hospital. We're happy to join that as well.
Erin, we do have a question that was put in the chat. It says, is there any plans to make an ultra preemie wide neck nipple?
Yes, we do have plans for that. So I'm not sure if you've heard lately, but the first thing we're making for the wide neck bottle system is the specialty feeding system. So we were just alluding to that one-way valve. That will now be an option for the wide neck system as well. And then just to keep on going with that wide neck bottle system, Sandy Aubuchon just popped on. She's our president of the medical division. And so these are things we hear from customers. We appreciate all your feedback. We love to hear that you're using the system, that it's helping babies. And so not only the ultra premium nipple, but first really is that transition nipple too, for that system as well. So I don't know, Sandy, if you wanted to say anything else about that, but those two things are on the docket, as we say.
I think Erin said it eloquently. Yes, we hear you all, and we are trying to respond as quickly as possible. So yes, please continue to let us know what tools you might need in order to assist with the care of your infants on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, feel free to reach out anytime.
The response to the preemie nipple, wide neck, was great news. So
Good. Yes, we all agree. Anything else? Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it. We know everyone is so busy, and we are here. So whatever you need as far as support to help people understand why the use of Dr. Brown's products, moving from disposable to reusable, products in your unit not only helps during the time in the hospital, but it also then provides that great transition for, you know, it from the NICU or from inpatient to home. So we really want to help promote whatever is needed to move in that direction for all those infants and families. Thanks so much for coming today, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.